So, welcome to the last session of Unit 2. So, we are discussing continuously on layers of SOA. The reason to take this topic in a wide spectrum is we have to construct a SOA model for our project work. So, by keeping in that mind, uh, please analyze these PPTs and take it forward. The technologies, whatever that you are learning and incorporating in your work, to be transformed as a layer of service at the end, right? Accessibility of the service could be made easy, as well as the important thing, load balancing. If number of users are accessing your application, for all the users you have to give the same performance, right? That should not differ. So by keeping all these aspects, kindly come across these PPTs again and the lectures that what we have given for unit 2 again. Incorporate SOA in your final year project work. Initially, this SOA could be the compulsory paper once upon a time for 2013-17 up to that regulation. They are doing it compulsorily and they are having an SOA lab. Okay, so ultimately they will come across mini work on that. By using that work, they will integrate with their project work easily, right? But unfortunately, it has come as a paper for you without laboratory. That's the reason why it's very tough for us to take it forward in the practical aspect. But anyway, I think the first portion of XML has been given you the wide flavor of practical approach only. The second lesson will give you this complete theoretical foundation of this SOA. And understanding these things, next unit that we will be talking more on how to perform the design and the modeling of this service-oriented architecture. That will make you to transform from the theory to the practical section of SOE, right? So we will try to give our best on unit 3. How can we implement it practically? For example, by considering our college library management system, examination management system, human resource management system. So likewise, some 2 or 3 systems, if you take it into account, how these systems can be converted into services, how these services are being accessed by clerical staffs in administration, faculty members in the department, students in the various branches, okay, as well as the stakeholders of the institution, how they are accessing that. So we'll try to give the case study that will give you a orientation how you can convert your work into an SOA based environment. How can you create that platform for your work, right? So that's the thing. We are trying to create a nurturing platform over on that. We'll try to exhibit while we are running our unit 3. Right. So recapping with the previous sessions, and I want to introduce some of the concepts through MCQs also. If you come across that, right, so the following provides information on service and service boundaries, service granularity. We have seen the term already. Service granularity and asset analysis. Right. What is meant by asset analysis? Asset means it's a valuable service. That's it. Right. That means the service which you had received a best rating. That's what asset. So after giving best rating, how that service is performing. Even we have tools to monitor those services also. Right. So it's like after getting first rank in the class, whether the same guy is getting first rank again. What are all the efforts that he is making to sustain his rank? Okay. For example, if a particular cloud service is providing a very good performance, later stages, whether it is diminishing or it is in the curve of f of x is equal to e power x, if it is going like this. So we have to monitor those things. That's what asset analysis. So what could be the best option for this? Yes, so it's running with a service oriented modeling and architecture. So this is the topic that we want to introduce in unit 3, right? So that will help you to understand these principles actually. Service boundaries and its information, service granularity, and asset analysis can be done through this, right? Service oriented modeling and analysis. Like UML, you have BPEL, right? Like UML in your normal environment to perform analysis and design, OOAD. Likewise, for object-oriented environment, we are having that UML. So likewise, OOAD. Likewise, we are having for service-oriented modeling and analysis, we are having BPEL, Business Process Execution Language, right? So that's the major criteria in this. Yes, you have to respond for this. Which of the following present a particular challenge in the area of SOA? If you are trying to implement SOA, what are all the challenges we will face? Configuration management, right? It is talking about both hardware and software as well as interface. Change management, nothing but again, it is configuration management only, right? When technology upgrade is going to come, based on both the software and hardware, how my application will behave, right? Because service is only an interface. Virtualization, I think people are very flavor in that. I think cloud computing have given you the 3 types of virtualization, right? So what could be the answer for this? Please post it in the chat. For question number 2, what could be the best option? Configuration management, change management, virtualization, all of them mentioned. Which one be the best option? We go to the chat for answers. It's option C from Yamini. What about others? What could be the option? Could be all of them mentioned, right? All of them are ready to talk about the same point, right? Virtualization is the area where we will be talking about processing engine, right? So we will be talking about our configuration of CPU or the rake server, completely that we will be talking about the environment where we will be executing our program or where our applications will be hosted and executed, right? What are all the services will be played by the operating system, whether it is going to be a host OS or guest OS, right? So over that only the technology is going to be laid off the complete section. So C could be the basement, A and B will sit over on that. That's it. Okay. So ultimately, if I am going to change C also, A and B should not be disturbed. That is the ultimate idea of our SOA. Technology upgrade should not affect customer service. Okay. In a bank, if they are going to update the corresponding software, for that the business hours should not be affected. That's the main challenge here. Okay. So that's what SOA is trying to bring for us. Next, so please understand the question and try to answer. Which of the following is used to define the service component that performs the service? Right? Service component, which will define the service component. WSDL, Web Service Descriptive Language. SCDL, Service Component Descriptive Language. XML, Extensible Markup Language. Option D is none of the above. Which one be the best option for this? Yes, we're getting E. So there is a different purpose for WSDL actually. The actual answer will be SCDL, right? WSDL will work for interfaces. That's what my next question actually. So to identify the difference between WSDL and SCDL, I have given this MCQ. WSDL is ready to identify my interface. Okay. SCDL will help me to identify the component. Okay. Define and identify the component. So with this SCDL and WSDL only, we will register in the service book, nothing but our UDDA, right? UDDA will help me in this aspect. So SCDL, Service Component Descriptive Language. By using that, I can define the service component that performs the service, right? So for this question only, that you have to choose the option as WSDL. How we are describing the interface, service interface. Okay, how I am describing the service interface, nothing but service access point. How I am defining the service access point. So what is the service access point for my internet in my mobile? That icon, right? Then you could have some icon for accessing the internet, mobile data. If I on the mobile data, that is my service access point, right? Through that, my hardware will be activated for accessing the internet. Suppose if it is a Wi-Fi, means that Wi-Fi icon, right? So if it is a landline, means the corresponding hub wire that where will go and plug with your router, that is going to be my service access point, right? So likewise, service access point can be completely designed by this WSDL only, right? It will help me to identify the service interface, WSDL. To identify the service, I have to use my SCDL. So that's the main difference between these two things, SCDL and WSDL. WSDL will help me to identify the interface, how I am accessing the application through the service. That will be designated by this WSDL, right? SCDL will help me to identify the service, right? Discovery part will be done by SCDL. Okay, after discovery, I have to access and use it, or that will be tremendously happened through my WSDL. The last question. Which of the following is a collaborative effort where the logic of the business process is pushed out to members? Right? It's a question to discuss. Not expecting answers from you, but it's a question to discuss. Collaborative effort where the logic of the business process is pushed out to members, right? How a service is given to the end user, that's the question. That's what has been asked technically in the terminology of SOE, right? How a service is given to the user, how a service is projected towards an end user, that's the question. Collaborative effort, the term why they have used here is, we are converting legacy systems into an SOA based framework, right? That's the term they are using, collaborative effort, where the logic of the business process, nothing but the middleware logic, where you will how you will exhibit, that's what their question is. Ultimately, the different tier architectures, the entire architectures will help us to hide where our logic is ultimately, right? It will not it will not make us to trace. For example, you can't trace where is the reservation logic of my IRCTC, where it was stored, right? It will be available in some server being organized by CRISE, Central for Railway Information Search. So they are handling that task. So we could not be able to trace that. But fortunately, the outcome of that reservation logic is projected through a website, IRCTC, right? For us, the same application is projected to us through IRCTC mobile app, right? It's in some other interface. So likewise, I could able to access the functionality through different arrangements of the corresponding application. If I'm going to access in any type of hardware, if I'm going to access in any type of platform, it must be available for the end user. That can be done through my choreography. How I am arranging my services that are ready to adaptable for all type of hardware as well as software, right? That can be done through this choreography, right? Nothing but arrangement of services. Okay, so that's the thing to be introduced and discussed in the 5 MCQs. To evaluate you, I have used 2 MCQs. The rest of the 3 MCQs, I have interest. I have I have intentionally inserted here to clarify these points, because these are all the points will help us when we are going for hands-on with respect to SOA, right? So what is the first thing that you have to do? What is the second thing you have to do after creating your software, right? See, software creation and development will not be a main picture here. After it is being deployed in a server, how it can be accessed towards the outside world, how you are making easy the process. That is what the main idea behind this chapter. Okay, so that's the thing. Let's get into the discussion of layers of SOA. Right. So, like your reference architecture that you have studied for your networks, starting from application layer to the corresponding physical layer. The same way, here also we are having a reference architecture. This is the reference architecture adapted by major MNCs. Right. This could be the architecture. Especially corporates which are practicing SOA platform to launch their softwares, they will be using this, right? Even AWS or Google, Amazon or Google or Microsoft, like IBM, whoever may be, right? All the people are using this as a reference architecture, and they will customize based upon their business functionalities, right? How they want to access, right? Consumer interface, first layer, right? We will complete this internal integrated layer. Okay, consumer interface is the place where how my end user is going to utilize my service. That is the place, right? So you can give in any mode, right? They have given two green blanks, so you can access through website or a toll free number, right? Or a toll free number, whatever may be. You can use any type of interface that you could be able to design, so that you could be able to access it. Okay, you could be able to access it. So next, business processes and services. Could you be able to understand that the green color services are mapped with blue color processes. The process of mapping service with the process or process with the service is called a service composition, right? So the process of alignment is happening in my business process layer, that is being linked with my services, right? So this is what my choreography is actually. How I am arranging my processes, how I am arranging my services, where I am interfacing my service. Okay, where I am interfacing my service. And you could be able to see that there is a arrow mark from business process to interface directly. A connectivity is there. As well as there is a connectivity is happening from service to interface directly by bypassing business process, right? By bypassing business process. So it is like I am accessing the service without any process. That is the idea here. That means I don't have any username and password. In a layman terminology, I don't have any username and password to access that service, right? So if I need to see that, and you could be able to see that, see, they will give you trial version to use the software, but they will not give you full features, right? So if you need to access the real features, that's what they have been linked with the service components. If you see that the second color service, you could able the second service available in the green color band, you could be able to see that is connected with my component, right? That is connected with my component. So that makes that if I am a registered user, I could be able to use all my services. So in AWS, that your credit dollar, they will give you $200 credit. They will access you service means from consumer interface, it will come directly to the services only, right? So if you are going to be a plan user, a premium user, or a paid user, in that case, that you are going to access the service components and operational systems in a transparential way, right? That is what happening. Service components are nothing but the corresponding logics, the modules where it was. Operational system means nothing but how the software is running over on the web server or application server, any type of server that it is ready to run with, and what is the database server that is ready to communicate with that. See, the operational system is having a gray color box and a representation for DB, right? That is nothing but a database server. The gray color box represents my web server or any type of application server, whatever may be, right? So this could be the place we are integrating. We are integrating everything, right? Could be able to understand the architecture. In our three-tier architecture, we will have presentation layer, middle layer, data layer, right? Data layer, I am having my database. Middle tier, I am having only the logics. Presentation layer, I am having only the interface, right? We are having demerits on that to access to whenever my system is going for maintenance, whenever my system had come for down, when it is down, I can't able to provide my services. But if it is going to fit into the SOA platform, even though my application is going to down using services, I could able to mirror the corresponding process and I could able to reflect on that, right? So that could be a major case that SOA will revamp everything on the test pipe, right? This is the visible layer for us. This is the visible layer for us. Pertaining to your final year project work, that what you have to do, you have to work with the layers of business process, services, service components, right? You have to design the modules in such a way that I need to, for example, you are writing your entire code in Java, right? All my components will be available in Java, service components, right? How you are how you are making these Java components to be accessible by the processes. So for that you have to write a code for services, right? So you can write a code in a language that is adaptable or interoperable with anything, right? So BP and services can be completely accessed through my an XML based BPEL, business process execution language. So BPEL will create that interface. Okay, BPEL will register that interface. So through that, you could able to create a website or a mobile app. From the mobile app, the input will come to the BPEL. BPEL will take it towards the corresponding service. Okay, so these are all things will be abstract. It will not be visible to the people, visible to the end user. For the end user, it will be like while accessing the mobile app, he will get the services. That's all. If you don't know about the business process and services running behind to access the corresponding component, right? For the consumer, the four layers will be completely hidden from only the interface, either the thing that you are going to access through your toll-free number or through a website or through a mobile app, whatever may be, right? So that's the major thing, right? While you are coming for this type of these layers after integration, quality of service, right? So quality of service, we have a lot of metrics to measure the corresponding services. Okay, so depending upon that metrics only, we will rate it. That's what. For doing that, we have a lot of things that you have to come across in your cloud computing. Like you must have a resource broker. That resource broker will give you the correct feedback about the service, right? So these are all the services hired by this many number of people. They have not faced any type of downtime. They have not faced any type of these things, or the service will crash immediately when you host in your operating system. So likewise, some positive and negative comments will be retrieved from the consumers and given towards the resource broker. Resource broker will exhibit those things as a sentimental analysis for us, right? So by that, I could be able to identify the quality of service, right? Information about the services that will be given by UDDI. We will see in third unit. What is this UDDI? What is the role of discovery and description interface, right? Unique in identity, how we are ready to access the service. So those things will know about that. Governance, how we are going to manage the complete platform, right? How we are managed, because now AWS is the best example for this, because they are managing software, they are managing their services, they are managing their processes, they are managing their upgrades, they are managing their consumers also. In the same platform, they are doing business, they are doing development, they are doing management. Everything is available in the same platform, right? So such type of architecture that it is ready to reference for any business, right? This could be the basic block diagram for you to start your work for your project work, right? After developing my component, how I am making my component to reach the market, that you have to decide in that aspect. So that's what we have discussed a lot. So an important policies, right? These policies will frame a vital role. The policy is nothing but depending upon the consumer that this policy should not bind. Policy should be a general one, even for a premium customer as well as a guest user. The policy should not bind over on them. So it has to give same set of services at the consumer level, right? So services can be these three things: invoked, published, and discovered, right? This publishing and discovery will be completely done by the back end process only, right? It will be invoked by the people. So ultimately it is abstracted. That's what we have discussed a lot on this. So this is the point that I want to stretch it to over on. SOA is a software design approach. I am thinking with you in software engineering aspect, right? It is a software design approach. Please remember that SOA is a software design approach. So you have to design the software in this way. So assume that this is your software engineering paper, right? SOA is the software engineering paper or advanced software engineering paper. How to implement that? Because while we are learning, we have worked with our RAD model. Waterfall model is a theory model. RAD model is the practical model we have learned during 1999 and 2000. But nowadays, the practical model is agile development, right? So agility. How this agile-driven programming could come into this section, right? How can I do it practically? That's what SOA is giving you hand to do this in a proper way, right? So these are all the principles that we have come across in our principles of SOA, right? Loosely coupled, so that can be accessed across the network. A higher level of application development, right? It's purely based on integration. That's what we have seen in the previous slide. Integration. Everything has come into a streamlined integration, right? So that's the main thing. The diagram will denote you the relationship between the provider and the consumer. So they have given, I think this diagram has been given for your corresponding application services. See, already we have seen this diagram in abstract way. Now it has been given in the detailed thing. Flight reservation is a software. Car hiring is a software. Hotel booking is a software. Mortgage lending is a software. Office supplies, all of them are heterogeneous things, right? All these things can be available in the service registry. That is what my UDD is, right? Service registry. How it can be identified? That can be identified using their unique ID. Okay, service consumer will access the service registry. Okay, so how service provider will supply the corresponding service requested by the consumer depending upon the environment. And you could be able to see that how they are making you to work with application A and application B. Services are available there, but how they are creating the layers here. Application A, travel agent, retail bank, and publishing house. Okay, so when you're coming for application B, you are having a airline, car rental, and hotel chain, mortgage specialist and investment banks, office supplies companies, right? So this sort of choreography that can be performed from the end of service provider or from the end of service consumer, right? We are having that flexibility to do that, right? I don't want to pay my corresponding service through ICICI payment gateway. I want to use my Citibank gateway. It has been given towards the consumers criteria to use, right? So no need to force to make these things via this way, not like that. So choreography for the usage of services has been led to the consumer's point of view. That's what SOA components and operations will have a major role on that, right? So the level of understanding that what we are doing pertaining to programming point. Service consumer will find and retrieve the service from service discovery, right? But service consumer will invoke the corresponding service. That means identity of the service. He could be able to see window shopping in service directory. That's all. These are all the things are available. Window shopping. Once it is over, service consumer will inform the service provider, I need this service, right? Because service provider will verify that this ID is available in the service directory or not. If it is available, depending upon the budget posted by the consumer, if he could be able to manage that service, he will allocate the service towards the corresponding consumer. So that's the major thing. If from the developer point of view, now we have talked about customer point of view. From the developer point of view, if you are going to develop your application, you have to create a service for the application. Otherwise, you surrender the application to the service provider. Service provider will create the service for the corresponding your application, and he will register the service in the service directory, and he will give you a number towards you, an unique ID. Using that, you could able to see the performance of your service, which is being used by the corresponding consumers. Right? So that is the developer point of view. And this could be the architecture, how I have to do that. So there will be a service contract. Very simple aspect. I'm going to subscribe my premium plan. That's all in my AWS to use. Or I'm going to use my this plan A to access my service. That's what. I'm going to pay monthly, or I'm going to pay weekly, or I'm going to pay yearly, or I'm going to take a lease for 3 years. Right? So that could be the contract, service contract I have to make with my corresponding service provider. Right? So that's what the term service contract is going to reflect here. That is going to be see how they will issue now. That is going to be digital signature. That's it. The digital signature will be given towards you only on those DS enabled browsers could be able to access the services. That's it. So when the service, when the consumer is going to use, by default that digital certificate will check with the Kerberos server, and it will access the corresponding service. Right? These are all the people that we have discussed a lot on these things on the last this provider, service provider. Nothing but, for example, if you take Airtel is going to be my cloud service provider, or Tata Sky is going to be a cloud service provider, or AWS is going to be service provider. Service consumers are nothing but my end users, right? Even a third party company also, right? I could be able to convey a point, right? In IITM we have a startup. What they will do? They bought a lease of some X number of years from Amazon for a particular region. From that, again they are doing business. See, they got rental from AWS. They are making this PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS. They are doing again the secondary level business. Now they will exhibit. See, we are having this many number of resources are available with us. That company X will do their business, right? Already AWS is doing business. From that they got resources. They are doing the subsequent business using the contents rented by them, right? So that's also a possible consumer in this category. Registry, that is the place where we will store our service interface to access the application. That will give a unique ID to identify the service. Right? So every component could be able to interact with one or more components. Communication between components also happen. That will also be monitored by the service provider. Okay. So what is a service? So a business or an IT capability that can be exposed by its provider. Say it may be or it may not be. You could not, that may be a content, a transparent one, or it may not be one. That could be decided by the corresponding layer. They don't want to exhibit how your username and password are encrypted, right? But they could be able to exhibit the time to reach your request and the time to respond, right? We will be checking our internet speed by using RTT. So this could be the idea. Already it was like this. My business services will be like this. This is what my agility, right? How my services are categorized. That's what they're showing. Initially, it will be like a clump sum baggage. Now they have segregated everything, and they are going to give you in a menu card basis, right? That's what business agility they want to stretch it upon here. What is a service? For that, a very good definition that will help you to write for your part A, right? So a simple example that they have given related to performance. Verify a customer's credit history, right? So it's a very good example that could be able to term how your corresponding service is being used for my consumer's environment, right? So that's what the major criteria that they will be focusing with. So a service in SOA is a exposed piece of functionality with 3 properties, right? This is the 3 property that you have to have it when you are going to design your content. Interface contract to the service is platform independent. So what does it mean? The code that what you are going to write using your DPEL must be available. That's the reason I suggest you to use BPEL. BPEL could able to work on, it is ready to interface with anything, right? For example, in consumer place, that what we will do. See, if I'm going to use my Kotlin, irrespective of my app is in Java or based on C# or any other platform, Kotlin will ready to deploy it on any base, right? Won't restrict over on that. The service can be dynamically located or invoked. Okay, service can be dynamically located and invoked. That's what registry will give me, like yellow pages, the list of services. A simple search functionality is enough to locate and use. The service is self-contained. That is, the service maintains its own state, right? So this is what the recent stage development in SOA. Service is self-contained. The service itself have the label. These many number of users have used me. This is my mean time between failure. This is my mean time to failure. This is my success rate. So likewise, it will have its label. So depending upon that you could be able to access and use. It is not like putting likes in your FB, right, or in your social media networking. It's not like by using some Cambridge Analytica, making a company to do complete marketing on the corresponding thing and making a resource to be exhibited. It is not like that. You by using this by using this content, I could be able to track my own metric. So you could be able to create, for example, how many users have used your reservation logic in a successful in a successful pattern. So these many number of reservation logics have been successfully did. This many number of have failed the corresponding transaction. So the reason for failure is due to my payment gateway or due to my credit card. These bank credit cards or these bank debit cards. So are these bank or this corresponding UPI, it is not functioning well during night time or during the daytime. So likewise, I could have the complete history of the corresponding services when it is going to be used. That will reflect towards a consumer whether we can use this service or not. Right? So I could be able to decide over on that. See, nowadays you are going to pay your fees online. So in that case, when you are going to perform RTGS, you are going to pay more than 2 lakh. In that case, you have to go for RTGS. You should not choose NEFT or UPI, right? NEFT or IMPS. So RTGS is the best way to perform the thing. So the adaptation for the consumer to choose on his own choice is completely available in this SOA platform. So it should not be compelled on that. That's what they will be talking about. That message, how they are communicating. That's what still we will penetrate on this using SOAP, right? Using simple object access protocol, service providers and consumers will communicate, right? So the contract will give us the how this communication must happen, right? What are all the list of services he can access? What are all the list of services he cannot access? So likewise, we have a tabulation, right? So all those things can be happened through my message only, right? So the proper message has to reach the end user. If the service is not available at the particular time, proper message has to reach the user, or he is not eligible to access the service. That also a proper message has to reach the user. That should be given in a proper method. That's what the role of message through SOAP is measured here. Ultimately, SOAP is completely designed using our XML only, right? So how to discover a service. That's what the diagram that what I have shown you. It is ready to talk about that. Still, we will penetrate and talk more on third and fourth units, right? This will give you the complete idea. So how to maintain a directory service, how to register a service, what are all the properties that a service need to hold, how about intercommunication between services, how the customer need to look upon my service. So in the Play Store, which app that you will choose. For example, I am going to get an UPI app that I have to perform with multiple banks. So immediately I will go for which one have been given the maximum rating. So I am going to go and access that. So how the consumer lookup service can be made some more sophisticated. So everything can be done over based upon this dynamic discovery, right? So this is also, see, we can run a course on dynamic discovery. It's about something called what do you call a strategy of marketing here also, right? So a directory service only. See, they are commenting an example about credit card authorization service, right? So how they are doing this. So ultimately, we are expecting a platform independent interface, right? You develop, we are not resting you to develop on any particular software. We are making you to develop and launch in the SOA platform. It will create service and make it to interface with the outside world. So that's what the thing that we will be talking out throughout these sessions, right? So no need to worry about any technology upgrades. We will take care of that. That's what the SOA platform will happen. This is a complete picture. We'll talk about all types of applications are being merged in a single environment, right? On communication, how the stakeholders are being benefited through SOA. That's what this diagram will ready to talk about that, right? Different heterogeneous applications, different types of business process involved, different types of stakeholders are involved. For them, a single point of contact as SOA will give me services at a different level. That's what we are ready to exhibit through this diagram, right? So this is a case study on that. So how all those things are happening based upon on orders. So how we are transferring from function oriented to service oriented. So that's the major thing that we have discussed everything on this in the diagrammatical aspect. That's what they have given. We are driving through agile based programming. Please remember that. Okay. So this could be the place that we have to stop our content for unit 2. This topic that we will discuss while we are going to come for our unit 3 and 4. So by that unit 2 got closed, and have a review on that. If you have any doubts and clarification, please post it in the chat.